This is Moonshine and Music with Joe Shelton. Wait a minute, that's me. Anyway, we're going to bring you some inspiring songwriters, musicians, and maybe some side challenges and other stuff around the music industry. So stick with us right now, because the show is coming your way. Woo! Moonshine and Music starts right now. Ready to go? Welcome to Moonshine and Music. We've got a special treat for you today. We've got the band Robots and Magic Powers in studio. How are you guys?
Good.
You want to introduce yourselves individually so I don't have to?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm Davina. I'm the bass player.
I'm Jeremiah. I sing and play guitar.
JJ, I play drums.
Series, keyboard and cello.
We got the cellist and keyboards.
Yep.
So you guys are going to have the full array up there today.
We
really
actually
fun.
just have the cello today, though.
Yeah.
Joe, you're only doing cello today?
Yes.
All right,
so we
that's
didn't
cool.
have to drag in the extra equipment for 2 songs.
That's right.
Well, that's fine.
I just had to pick one for today.
Well, that's cool. So where are you guys out of, like, in general? Because it's hard to do, like, one-on-one. We're doing a 4-on-1.
Broad Ripple.
Broad Ripple?
Yeah, I live right down the street from him, 3 miles away, Broad Ripple.
Yeah.
They're all neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
I live
met
literally
him
the
on
street over from him.
a site that you kind of like look for people interested in things you're doing, and hooked up with him that way. And then our first phone conversation, we shared a cool UFO story, so that began the.
It was,
Is that where the whole Robots and Magic Powers thing came
No,
from?
that came from him a long time ago, but it was just.
All right, I want the backstory, man. I've been dying for this.
Oh, for
How do we get to Robots and Magic Powers for a name?
well, so can't really talk that much about it, but I was working on
What?
He doesn't want to say how long ago.
a rock opera that involved robots and magic powers, and I've been working on that for a long time. And then I said, I need to get a band together. And actually, I didn't even want to call the band Robots and Magic Powers because I thought it was too much. But then in the end, I came saying, I think that is the name we should use. So I actually had to force myself into now I'm happy with it. I'm thinking, yeah, that's a great name for a band. So we go by Ramp or Robots and Magic Powers.
It's killer, man. I love that name.
Thanks. Well, so, 4th or 5th album, we have the special rock opera thing already planned and it's already done, but we want to take this musical journey first.
So right now you got the first album. What's it called?
It's called Gateways.
Gateways.
Yeah.
And I listened to the whole album.
Cool.
I love how you guys work the songs together. It's almost like they don't stop.
Yep.
Was it obviously planned?
Yeah, and I
Did
think
you write the songs in order, or did you?
I don't think we wrote the songs in order necessarily, but at some point everything kind of just falls into place. And then I'm a fan of like the Chili Peppers album, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, where everything just doesn't stop, and then you're like, well, maybe I want to turn it, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I like this song, it just comes on right away and stuff. So that's what I wanted to do, and we worked really hard on, making sure that we had all these little intricate pieces in there, and we went so far as to, write scripts for some of the things that were in between some of the songs, and trying to introduce some songs. I got a bunch of people over my house in my ISO booth to, just verse some of the things. For instance, the intro to Leader series actually speaks fluent French, so we want to do like a BBC documentary report type of thing where they have somebody in a different language kind of starting in with the story, and then they kind of lower it down, they have somebody in English kind of translating the whole thing. And
Yeah, so he just locked me in his ISO booth one day and made me speak French. He's like, oh, this is what we're doing today.
I'm going to send you what you need to say. Translate it real quick.
The first time I pulled in his driveway and I saw his license plate said Ramp, I knew that he meant business.
This was for real. This wasn't
Yeah,
like
he wasn't bullshitting. So
were you guys in different bands before, or was this your first? What was your first band?
My first band, well, going back a long time ago, but my first real band I felt like was Alabaster. So
Alabaster?
We were in that together.
Yes, Davina was in there. We played with, Perfect Nothing and Den and all those guys, and pretty much all the guys in the 90s and 2000s and stuff like that. And then Davina moved away, and we found a new bass player, but then our band, just didn't work out that
Without me,
well.
it just wasn't as good.
Right. And then, years later, Davina moved back into town. We kind of got together, and I told her about this new project that I was going to do. And at that time, I was really firm on the name, so I was kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, the band name's Robots Magic Powers. And she's like, okay. And then I'm like, oh, I guess it isn't so bad.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
So,
that was the straw that put me over the edge once I knew what the band name
right,
was.
we were looking for a drummer, and
I thought that was cool.
We found a lot of drummers that were kind of way outside of Indianapolis, and we thought, man, that's not going to work. I need somebody a little bit closer. So I actually wrote on Nextdoor, the Nextdoor app. I was like, need a drummer. It's got to be a drummer in the hood, and and then so it just so happened that JJ answered it, and we liked a lot of the same bands. We both had a UFO story to tell each other.
What was the UFO story?
Just, not to get all taken up the time, but it was just just an experience I'd had, and we kind of started talking about it, and he mentioned that he had done some investigating of that kind of stuff and was really into it. So I mentioned the story to him as just kind of one of those floating orbs of light that people see sometimes. And I saw that one night, and he had like a real similar story, and we checked the time, and it almost seemed like it happened like around the similar time.
Right.
So I just felt like all the signs were pointing to, and it's hard to find a good original band that's dedicated enough to put your time into. And once I kind of talked to him a bit, I could tell that like he was wanting to put forth the kind of effort it was going to take to actually give it a shot.
Right.
So I'm just glad I lived in the hood. Right? So
Was this your first band?
no, I've been same with them. I've been playing drums and guitar in different bands, cover bands, original bands, but I feel like this is definitely like where I belong as far as an original band goes, just because we all get along, the style of music, the freedom to be creative. So yeah, that's me.
How about you?
This is my first band.
How did you come to this?
So I'm mainly a visual artist, and Jeremiah and I were doing art shows together, and he was like, trying to put together this band, and I need somebody that I can show them how to do some of these key parts. So I was like, well, I have piano, so I can do that, sure. And then he found out I had cello, so that became a thing, and it kind of went from there.
And the guys are going to see in a minute, you have a pretty cool electric cello.
Yeah,
right?
So we actually bought that for the band. I had an acoustic cello. We tried a couple of different pickup. We had something called the band that just like wraps around acoustic cello. Problem is we were sometimes it didn't work, and we were getting some feedback depending on our practice room.
Yeah, and if you look at the price, the actual, for an acoustic cello, the actual, what do you call it, mic or input or whatever, was almost the same price as buying an electric cello. So we just quickly returned that, and then spent a little bit more money and just got the electric cello. So
and then we know it works.
Right.
It's not.
Well, it's
gonna
cool
have
looking
issue.
too, so
Yeah.
I think it's a good look for the band. When I've
Thanks.
seen it out there, I was like, that's
had
just far out.
A
So.
couple different body options for the electric cello, because the actual this has like the frame of the cello, which I think looks super cool. A lot of them just look like it's just the middle part with the strings. It just looks like a stick, and it's like you see that on stage, you're like, what is it even?
Yeah.
So,
Joe, let me just say that at first I didn't even want to do this show, but my buddy Siege Ramshackle, I think you know, Amy Foxworthy, Sonia Boyd, and Jonathan Porkchop Boyd, and also Tom Westrick, they all said, Joe's a stand-up guy, you should do the show. And I said, if he's good enough for you guys, then we're going to be on the show. So,
See Dram Shackle.
Are you guys Siege fans? Is that
yeah,
what the story
absolutely.
is here?
Absolutely.
Well,
We've got a little treat for you at the end of the show, maybe.
Oh,
I don't want to hint anything too much, but
You don't want to surprise us with. I mean, when Siege was here, he called out to the Germans and
Yeah, he
all
did.
sorts of other stuff. So
Well, so the thing is with Siege is he's a great guy, and him and Amy Foxworthy, they make me excited to be in the indie scene. When you go to a show and you see Siege and you see Amy, and we have a group that's commonly known as the Punk Fucks. So that's
I thought it was
us.
the Twitchy Fucks.
Well, it is the punk fucks,
okay.
the twitchy fucks. It's all kind of interrelated.
All bucks.
And all those guys, you know, they just make me super excited to be a part of the scene. They make me want to go to more shows. They make me want to, you know, put the extra effort into supporting other local bands. And, you know, without people like that, it you know, it'd be a little harder, I think. But
Well, hey man, that's what this show's about, is getting everybody jacked up for local or indie music in general.
absolutely.
All the big name label artists, they got plenty of money and
That's
different
right.
shows to be on. You know, this is kind of like what I'm trying to put together, something like, you know, the local version of, you know, whatever.
We
that
appreciate
thing
it.
This is the
Appreciate
video
it.
version of Indie in Tune Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a radio,
Well,
but you got a TV, you could watch
and
this.
you know, if you were paying attention, I was guest hosting on Indian Tune like a week and a half ago. So it was like a weird cross-pollination thing going on.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we love Indian Tune also.
Absolutely.
And it's good that you guys are here, and I'm ready to hear some Ramp.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, are you guys ready to play
Well, we
some tunes?
appreciate you
I'm ready.
doing this for local music. We
Yes,
really do.
thank you so
much,
Thank
Joe.
you
Thank you,
for
Joe.
your passion
All you
for it.
guys are welcome. I love this, and I'm excited to have a full band up there. We've only had a couple of bands, and we haven't, you know, gotten like the full band experience that much here on Moonshine and
Nice.
Music. So it's gonna be really fun.
We'll see if we can fit up there.
That's
As
right.
far as the pyrotechnics, where should I put
Oh
it?
yeah, we gotta.
Wherever, man. As long as you got the fire marshals okay.
That's
We
right.
got the cannons and all this. Oh, I don't know if this is gonna fit up there now that I'm looking.
Well,
at
you
it.
know, do whatever you need to do, and we'll apologize later because I'm
That's
not
right.
asking for
Oh,
permission.
it's a tall
right.
ceiling. We should be okay.
Yeah.
I hope.
I mean, if the Barney Muggers survived up there, we're gonna be all right. So, all right, we'll be right back with some music from Robots and Magic Powers here on Moonshine and Music.
All right, we need some help counting this in, everybody. As soon as I hit play over here. Yep. Bells. Books and Brews. Moonshine and Music, thanks for having us. Again, we are Robots and Magic Powers. This is called Free Again. Be one with all of us. Cry me a river for my home. These deserts within me for many years. No rain, no rain. I shall be free. Whoa.
take it. I won't lean on your slipping fast. This rages on. Open my heart. A calm blue ocean. Free again. Take me free again. Thank you so much, Books and Brews. Moonshine and music. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hold on one second. Round shackle, round shackle, We did it!
Moonshine and Music is a presentation of Notlehs Entertainment. Copyright 2019, all rights reserved. Our producer is Joe Shelton. Our cameraman, grip, and stunt double is Brent Lee Smith. On cameras and all sorts of other stuff, Bailey Shelton. And our staff guru is Brent Schlemmer. Join us each Sunday for more episodes of Moonshine and Music.